Well, really, LPG was the only way for me to go. A friend of mine had an LPG car, and I was really impressed with the standard and the quality of car that he had. And I had a diesel car, which was expensive to run. So I just researched on the internet, and I looked for a car that had already been converted. And when I found one, I phoned the garage, and basically I did a straight swap my diesel for LPG, and I haven't looked back. I mean, the cost savings are noticeable straight away. I used to think of it in terms of filling the tank, so it's about £50 to fill my diesel car, and to fill the LPG car is about 20. So you don't really pay so much attention to the amount of driving that you do. I quite often do some long trips down to Gloucestershire, and that costs me half. You know, when you're cruising on the motorway, it costs me half what it would do with a diesel car. I think the savings, somebody calculated it out for me to about £1,500–1,800 a year. Though I don't really think of it as annually, but it is quite a lot of money when you do tot it up. But you notice the change, the difference in your pocket, really on a weekly basis, which was what was important to me. But it's quite funny, some of the questions that people have asked me since I've told them my car is LPG converted. A lot of people don't realise that it always starts on petrol, and then it automatically, roughly after half a mile in my car, converts onto LPG. So especially when I'm filling up at petrol stations, you know, I always get some strange looks from people as to why I'm standing at this odd pump, filling up my car. So I always like to point out to them that it's costing me 20 quid to fill my tank, where they're still clocking up, at 15, 60 quid. My tank's actually is in the boot of my car where the spare wheel used to be. So I don't lose any of my boot space, but I just don't have a spare wheel anymore. But that's not an issue either, because I used to have a smart car, and that doesn't have a spare wheel. And to be honest with you, I don't think in the middle of the night in the pouring rain I'd be changing the wheel anyway. But it's just, there are no negative points that I can think of. I'd recommend LPG to everyone, and I've recommended it to all my friends. And one of my friends has already converted to LPG, and other friends are investigating it really as we speak. It's just, everybody should really be driving an LPG car, and when I come to renew the car that I've got now, it will definitely be an LPG car again.